There's bravery in admitting that you're not okay. So, I'm Jessica Watson. I'm tough and I'm struggling. But that's okay.
'Cause we made it.
Sarah, good afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. What a wonderful and exciting film, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Well, telling Jessica Watson's story, the first teenager to sail solo around the world, you had to find the right actress. So tell me about that journey, and when did you know you found her?
I've spoken to a lot of filmmakers who will say that they either find their lead actor very early or very late in the process. And that was certainly the case with Tegan Croft. She was literally the first audition that I watched, and she nailed it. She set this benchmark that no one else was able to touch. So although I went through the process and I looked at, dozens and dozens, perhaps hundreds of auditions for this role, because it was quite a coveted role. I don't think there are a lot of roles that allow a young actress to flex in the way that this role has the opportunity for a young actress. So but very early on I knew that Tegan was the right person.
Well, Tegan is essentially acting by herself for most of the movie. What challenges did that present? She's essentially doing a one-woman show.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. When I was first approached to tell this story, to adapt Jessica's story for screen, that was the greatest challenge. Is how do you keep the audience engaged when essentially it's a young woman alone on the ocean for 210 days. But the more time I spent with Jessica and the more I really dug into the story and reflected on her journey, the more I realized how deeply spiritual and philosophical and emotional the story is. And so, I also got to spend some time with her family and really tried to flesh out that I ended up treating the family like mission control. So not only is there an emotional aspect there, but bouncing back and forth between Jessica and her family acting as mission control, allows us to really drive that story forward.
And with the real Jessica Watson, how involved was she with the production, and how did you gain her trust to tell her story?
I met Jessica quite early in the process. I spent a lot of time with Jessica. We have since become very good friends. And I'm actually based in LA, but I came back to Australia several times. Traveled with her from Sydney up to Queensland, a different state, to meet her family. And so she was very involved in the development and the script writing process for me. Having that connection was invaluable because I was able to, pick up the phone or send a text message if I was stumbling up against any sort of, technicalities when it came to sailing. Then once we started pre-production, I think I'd earned her trust by that stage. So she was really, present as really a sailing consultant for Tegan. And then once we started filming, she dropped in and out just to experience the craziness of set life.
And the physical demands on Tegan, there was a mixture of digital effects and practical effects, I assume?
There was, yeah, there was a lot of visual effects, a lot of practical special effects. We built some enormous rigs. Although a lot of the story takes place on the water, we only shot a couple of days on open ocean because most people got very seasick. So there was a lot of special effects rigs. I mean, really cool setups that were like a big pirate ship in an amusement park kind of thing, but it was the Pink Lady, on a gimbal moving around. So all the water itself was CG.
And I guess Jessica Watson, when they had the premiere in Australia, that was just the crowning achievement for her, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I think it was a huge sense of relief. Her journey, she worked so hard for so many years to be able to uh, circumnavigate the globe. And then once she completed that journey, this film itself took on a life of its own in terms of it was a very ambitious project to get off the ground, not a cheap movie to make. So she's been through it with us as well, and I think it's now a relief for everyone to have to be able to share it with the world.
Well, Sarah, congratulations. What a wonderful experience. And thank you for your time today. Let's talk again soon. Thank you.